So, the spoilers are out for My Hero Academia Manga Chapter 391, and I'm going to be covering it. It's been almost 2 weeks, and I'm getting angsty, so let's just dive right into it and talk about the spoilers. Hey guys, how's it going? It is your boy Manga Man Drew. I'm here to cover the spoilers for My Hero Academia Manga Chapter 391 titled Rejected by the World. And from what we get with the spoilers in this chapter, we are going to be heavily focusing on the interactions and fight between Toga and Uraraka. So let's dive right into it and really talk about the spoilers for this chapter. For starters, the chapter begins with an army of Twices fighting the heroes. Pixie Bob summons a giant earth wave and manages to scatter them, but more Twices show up behind her and start attacking. Tiger shouts her name, but he also gets caught in the endless attack of the clones. A narration then begins explaining how Toga's quirk works and says that the heroes may have no way of knowing how much blood she has stored, but even if they did, it wouldn't matter. Once the Sad Man's parade started, the Twices became too many for the heroes to handle. Kami, Shishido, and many other heroes are getting attacked by the Twices. We see Shoto unconscious on the ground while Natsuo, Fuyumi, and Ida listen to the sound of the clones fighting in the distance. So does Hawks, who stands up again holding his sword. It cuts to Ochako floating in the air to get free from the clones that were surrounding her, and she gets hit in the face by one of the Twice's measuring tapes. Toga asks herself what happened to Toya and if he's really dead, wondering if she has just lost another friend. So, this is very interesting because this kind of ties into the idea of what makes the Sad Man's parade terrifying. Not necessarily how powerful the clones are, but how numerous they can be and overwhelm the heroes with great sheer number. And we see that it got to Pixie Bob, it got to as well as Tiger, it's getting to Kami, Shishido. Very powerful characters within their own rights, but they're getting overwhelmed. So that's going to be very interesting to see how aesthetically this is going to fit into this actual battle between Uraraka and Toga, as well as getting a most likely better understanding of how Toga's quirk works, which we will get to in a little bit more. But we see that even Uraraka is really having a hard time in this battle, even being attacked, as she is looking for Toga within the mass of Twice clones. And getting into the next batch of the tech spoilers, Ochako grabs onto Toga's arm, using her wire and her new special move, Zero Gravity Spacewalk. She says she only knows Toga for a short time since the summer of last year, but since then her opinion of her has changed greatly. Toga says once again that it's too late for all of that, and Ochako apologizes for taking so long, but now she has finally found her amidst the chaos. She saw Toga's tears and thinks she's figured out how and why she can't use Twice's quirk to the fullest. And that may be because Toga's murderous intent is mixing with her, quote, love for others, diluting those feelings within her. So you speculated that maybe she didn't love Shigaraki and the others enough, but Ochako thinks that's not exactly it. That's the conclusion that she's come to after hearing the Twices repeat, heroes must die, and seeing Toga's tears. Toga then shouts, shut up, Uraraka, Ochako, what do you know about me? Nothing, and her face becomes herself again instead of Twice's. End of chapter. So, this is very interesting, and you may be thinking this is a very short chapter based off how much of the spoilers I've covered. However, it is a fairly chunky chapter, at least chunkier than the chapters that we've had over the past few weeks. Or maybe not, based off the page count that I'm seeing right now. I don't know if this is all of the spoilers that we're getting for the chapter, but if it is actually a relatively short chapter, but there's still some stuff in here. For instance, a potential explanation for why Toga is unable to use his Twice's quirks to the fullest. That's something interesting that we can dive into a little bit more, as well as getting to see the beginning, at the very least, of the fight between Toga and Uraraka. So most likely what I think is going to be happening in this chapter is that we're going to just get the start of it. This is pretty much the setup for the final fight between these two characters, where now Uraraka has most likely come to a realization about what Toga is to her and what Toga really is to the wider world, and is attempting to try and understand her feelings, and Toga is going to be fighting against that. And they also once again hint at the idea that potentially Dabi or Toya is dead, so we probably won't be getting full confirmation of what that is or what his fate is until most likely toward the end of the series during the final chapters, but we're going to have to wait on that for a little while. What we won't be having to wait on is the fight beginning between Toga and Uraraka, because we are not going to be on break next week, but still we are going to most likely just have this chapter be focused on the start of this fight, of this final confrontation between these two women and what that will entail in the future. But yeah, that's all I really have to say on the topic, because we really don't have a whole bunch of spoilers this week, unfortunately. Hopefully Horikoshi is doing alright. Hopefully the next chapter will have a little bit more girth to it, but we're just going to have to wait to see. But that's all I really have to say when covering the spoilers for this week. So what did you think of the chapter? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Was it too short? Or did it have a decent amount when you were reading me watch this? I know what I said, and I'll keep it that way. Leave your thoughts down below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell to be notified for whenever I upload more content like this. Do all that cool jazz, and hopefully I'll be able to catch you in my next video. Goodbye!